Welcome back to Toyota Arena in Ontario, California for a presentation of the Major Arena Soccer League on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Tonight, the 16-time indoor champion San Diego Sockers come into Toyota Arena to take on the Empire Strykers. Today, we also honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. Faith is taking the first step even when you haven't seen the entire staircase. That is one of my favorite of Dr. King's quotes. Oh, and by the way, my name is Christian Filliman. That's the doctor, Jonathan Reimer.
Good evening, Philly, and good evening to everyone tuning in. Jackie Robinson once famously said, "A life is only important in the impact it has on other lives." And one could think of no more impactful figure than MLK. An honor to pay tribute to him today.
Let's shift the focus to indoor soccer. Tonight, the Sockers come into this building on a hot streak. But you know who's also riding a hot streak? The Empire Strykers. And it's always an interesting and entertaining battle when these two teams clash against one another.
We got a full deck of cards. It is the 52nd meeting all time between these two teams. Currently stands at 42 wins for the Sockers and 9 for Empire. Can Empire get into double digits tonight, or will San Diego's historic dominance continue?
We'll soon find out. It's the Strykers taking on the Sockers, and you are watching the MASL on CBS Sports Golazo Network.
Wind 6 miles, runway 26 right, right on.
The wait is over. The 2025 MASL season is here. Bigger and better than ever. Get ready for high-speed action, jaw-dropping goals, and fierce competition as your favorite teams battle it out on the field. With intense rivalries, unforgettable moments, and new stars rising, the MASL delivers excitement every week. Get your tickets now and be part of the excitement, because this season, the action is non-stop.
The Major Arena Soccer League is proud to welcome you to MASL Soccer on CBS Sports Golazo Network. And here with a few quick thoughts about tonight's match, take it away, our sideline reporter, Panda.
The San Diego Sockers are coming into tonight's matchup on a 7-game win streak, keeping their sights locked on league leaders Chihuahua. So every point is crucial for them as they are looking to bag that top spot. Now, with a vastly more competitive team this season under head coach Anu Abasi, the Strykers are looking to solidify themselves as a playoff contender after coming off of back-to-back wins against the Ambush. Now, whichever team you're here to support tonight, what we can all agree on is that when these two SoCal rivals get together, it is a fiercely competitive battle. Now, one thing to keep in mind, though, as we learned right before kickoff, is that Craig Childs will not be suiting up for tonight's matchup. So very curious to see how this matchup is going to shake up tonight. Back to you guys up in the booth.
MITRE is the official game ball supplier of the Major Arena Soccer League. Established in 1817, MITRE is one of the leading soccer brands worldwide and produces some of the best soccer balls in the world. Learn more at mitre.com. Good evening, everyone. Jonathan Reimer here with you. You can call me Duck, and joining me as he has for 5 seasons, the voice of Empire himself, none other than Christian Philly Filliman.
Thank you, Doctor. Certainly appreciate that warm and rousing introduction. Today, Martin Luther King Day, we celebrate the legacy of the great man. We gave you a quote to begin the broadcast. I'll give you another one. I know that love is ultimately the only answer to mankind's problems, and we've been challenged, mankind, as of late. We've also been challenged here in the greater Los Angeles area with all the fires that have occurred. We've seen some beautiful things, though, transpire as a result of that. Big shout out to the first responders that helped out and everybody that volunteered. We'll be giving out some information in regards to donations to the American Red Cross, etc. But as far as love is concerned, we are all gathered here today for the love of indoor soccer. And speaking of love, can't say there's much love between these two teams that we're going to see taking the turf today. The 16-time Lords of Indoor, San Diego Sockers, and the up-and-coming young Empire Strykers.
The upstart Empire Strykers have certainly been on the wrong end of this series historically. In their most recent matchup down in Front Wave Arena in beautiful Oceanside, California, Strykers put in a heck of a fight. That game ended up going 4-3 to the Sockers in a very defensive-oriented, low-scoring indoor game. For those of you going 4-3, low-scoring in soccer, well, welcome to the beautiful world of indoor soccer.
We're moments away from the start of today's game. Panda mentioned on the pre-game that there will be no Craig Childs, but it's important to note there will be no Luis Pee Wee Ortega. There will be no Taylor Walter Bond. There will be no Felipe Gonzalez. So several players have either caught the illness bug, potentially the injury bug, potentially load management, but from what we saw on the Sockers bench, I think I counted maybe 12 field players along with Boris Pardo, who just had his 10,000th minute in the Major Arena Soccer League, all-time leader, and of course, Xavier Snare Williams.
This allows the opportunity for a few of the traveling bench players for the San Diego Sockers to get some leg in this game. We see Sean Callahan making the starting lineup today, as well as Travis Pittman, former player here in the Inland Empire, who's now playing with the San Diego Sockers. Both of those gentlemen only one game on the season prior to today, so great to see a returning face or two here to the indoor world.
In between the pipes for the Empire Strykers, Clayson DeLima, the starting lineup, Robert Palmer. We have Munir Alami, who's in his rookie season, who's been very exciting and fantastic to watch. We have Justin Stinson, one of the most dynamic midfielders, Marco Fabian, and it looks like we have starting Jose Gonzalez. There's a bit of a sibling rivalry, Doctor, because we have who's starting on the other side? His brother, Charlie Gonzalez, along with Mitchell Cardenas, Christian Gutierrez, Juan Salazar, Gabriel Costa, and in between the pipes, Xavier Snare Williams.
Going to be an interesting matchup. A little brotherly love out there between the Gonzalez brothers today. Should add a little extra level of spice to a matchup that has certainly been caliente in the past.
For those that are tuning in, Clayson DeLima well outside of his box, as we've seen all season long. Strykers head coach Anu Obasi loves to utilize the goalkeeper in that sixth attacker role, and Clayson DeLima is very far outside of his perimeter, so keep an eye out on that as Gabriel Costa nearly found one in the back of the net, but it's going to be a goalkeeper restart for Empire.
And this is the double-edged sword that is playing with the sixth attacker. Empty net for all you hockey fans virtually the entire game for Empire. One turnover in the backfield can lead to a single shot and a goal quick as lightning.
Alami heads it to a wide open Fabian. Snare Williams is there to head it. Stinson with a shot that deflects right off of Alami. Ball is loose, picked up by Gutierrez, re-intercepted by Stinson. Sockers regain possession. Taken away by Robert Palmer. That ball is going to come out of play, and the Sockers are going to regain possession.
Almost a chance for Golden Boot co-leader last year and already top of or near the top of the goal scorers this season as well. The marvelous Marco Fabian, his illustrious career. He's already got 14 goals and 4 assists in just 10 games this season for Empire.
He's had an outstanding effort, but it's not just him leading the Strykers attack. Justin Stinson, of course, and there's Abdul Mansoureh out of London, England, who had himself a phenomenal goal the last time we were here under the bright lights of Toyota Arena. He's adding pressure to Mitchell Cardenas. That's going to get headed off of Tony Delatorre, who just checked in, and it's going to be Sockers on the restart. Xavier Snare Williams, who's got the start against Empire just a couple of weeks ago at Front Wave Arena, had himself an outstanding effort in only, I believe, his first appearance that season. Ball is loose as Luis Morales charges up forward, but Clayson DeLima regains it. Mustafa Guy, otherwise known as Momo Guy, facing pressure from Sebastian Mendez, formerly of the Texas Outlaws. Mendez got off to somewhat of a slow start. here in San Diego, but he started to pick up. One of the most talented young players that you will see in this game, and there's several talented players between both sides.
Seba Mendez currently on a 3-game point streak, certainly finding his form with his new team.
Andy Reyes into that left side. George De Leon, who's back in his second stint with the Strikers, fires one in, blocked by Leonardo de Oliveira. De Leon finds himself open, finds it, a shot, and a goal buried into the back of the net by Ciro Oliveira. What a strong start for the Empire, 1-0.
Fantastic goal, well worked. The effort to create this opportunity is all down against the low boards, where the scram in the corner there by George De Leon creates the space, and a beautiful pass set up to a wide open Ciro Oliveira, who hammers it home, top in. Strikers are up 1-0 early.
Ciro, my golly, my hero, gets his second goal of the MASL season. Ciro Oliveira, a rookie this year out of Brazil, but no stranger to soccer in Southern California, as he played collegiately in the Big West with the Roadrunners at Cal State Bakersfield, along with Cal Poly Pomona, which is just right down the road from Ontario.
Ciro Oliveira had a really great start to the season, but was struggling to find himself on the score sheet. 3 points in his last match and already a goal here today. Ciro Oliveira is coming into his own quickly this season.
Player to keep an eye on for the Sockers is that one right there, Tavoy Morgan. Tavoy Morgan, one of the most lethal target forwards in the Major Arena Soccer League. He's currently the Sockers' leading goal scorer with 9, to go along with his 2 assists, 11 points on the season. Out of Jamaica,
being guarded by Jamaican countryman Roberto Palmer, a.k.a. Berto.
Gabriel Costa, another one of the fine young talents we have in the Major Arena Soccer League, dumps it off to Mitchell Cardenas, who's wearing the captain's band. Charlie Gonzalez, who started his career for the once called Ontario Fury, now known as the Empire Strykers, headed down to San Diego in that 2022 season, 21-22 season, and he's got himself a couple of championship rings to go along with some more unbelievable statistics. Talk about how Tavoy, a fantastic target forward, well, Charlie, one of the best midfielders in this league.
Currently leading the San Diego Sockers in points coming into this game with 13 on the season, averaging 1.6 points per game. Prolific from the man they call Chargo, Charlie Gonzalez.
Charlie Golasso, potentially we'll see some Golazos. That was his brother, known affectionately as Bebe. Finds the ball in. Charlie and Justin Stinson battling for the ball. Stinson wins that one. These are two players that know each other very well, having spent a lot of time playing with one another for the Ontario Fury.
They made up that midfield tandem of the then Ontario Fury team that went all the way to the Ron Newman Cup Finals. Of course, losing in the mini game versus this San Diego Soccer side.
And a player who did score a goal in that game, Abdul Mansoure, passes it into Marco Fabian. Marco the Magnificent, a stellar career, has himself an Olympic gold medal playing for Team Mexico in the 2012 London Games. Also found success playing in Liga MX for Chivas de Guadalajara. Leo de Oliveira, another player who spent time with the Ontario Fury. With the proximity between both Ontario and San Diego, no surprise that had players go from each team. Mendez with a fancy dump off to Keiko Gontan. Tavoy Morgan with an attempt, another attempt. Clayson de Lima makes the save. Gontana player, for those of you who are familiar with La Liga, here's a player that comes in with over 250 appearances in La Liga. There's going to be a whistle going against the Strikers. Yeah, going back to Gontan, started his career with Atletico Madrid at the age of 17, played for Malaga, Eibar, and Real Valladolid. And he's had a strong start to his indoor career. Drew Ruggles into Sebastian Mendez. Mendez marked by Emmanuel Aguirre. There's a shot, just misses to the right of the post. Ricochets back to Abdul Mansoure of the Empire, and he's fighting hard to get by Gontan. Ball comes in to Charlie Gonzalez. We have a challenge flag dumped onto the turf as Tavoy Morgan is still down on the turf. And now the officials are going to blow the whistle. Take a look at, see what happened to Tavoy Morgan.
Tavoy Morgan still down on the field at the far end. He is slow to get up, clearly in pain, holding that left thigh, left knee. Get another look at this here in a second. As we have our first official review, each team gets the flag one time. So we see Taboy and Momo go into the corner there. Both players jostling for the ball. Hard to see at full speed if one beats each other to the ball there, but our officials will go into the booth. Each team is awarded one challenge flag during regulation. If they are successful, they will get that challenge flag back for a second attempt. If they are unsuccessful, they will be out of challenges for the remainder of the game. Should we head into overtime, the officials will have an opportunity to initiate a review themselves. Does look like a common foul could have been awarded there, but I don't think San Diego is going to come away with the blue card they are asking for boarding.
What we do know is that Sockers trainer Paul Savage did tend to Tavoy Morgan, and Tavoy Morgan is back on his feet, walking to the bench. He seems to be all right. We're just waiting for the official's word as to whether or not there's going to be a card indicated there. Of course, you did explain that if the challenge is incorrect, what happens.
We'll see here our officials are having a healthy amount of deliberation. It does look like they're coming out with a blue card in hand. And Momo Guy will be going to the sin bin for the next 2 minutes. We will be 5-on-4 in the outfield as Empire will be a man down for the next 2 minutes or until San Diego converts on their power play. Philly, how are they doing on the season with those numbers?
Incredible. We're looking at 50% on the power play. San Diego is a very, very dangerous team in these circumstances. The Strykers, on the other hand, 71% on the penalty kill. And looking at that lineup that San Diego's thrown out there, they have quite a few players that can find the back of the net. Keiko Gontan wide open on the opposite side. Keep your eyes out on him. Gabriel Costa and Charlie Gonzalez by the yellow line for the Sockers. Also in is Luis Morales, a player who's in his third season in the Major Arena Soccer League. Every year that he's played, he's had 20+ goals. Shot by Costa, that misses off of the Empire Strykers dashboard. Picked back up by Gontan. And there's a shot saved by Clayson de Lima. Morales was open for a moment. Fantastic defense applied by Alan Perez. Perez, a one-time teammate of Gabriel Costa. Ball comes into Xavier Snare-Williams.
I think both Costa and Charlie Gonzalez were once under the tutelage of Empire head coach Onua Obasi and the TST as well, too.
Costa lines up, that comes right off of Quinton Swift.
You have to wonder if their experience with Empire's gaffer gives them any advantage in going against a similar tactic to the one Onua employed in that tournament.
Charlie facing some pressure into a wide open Costa. Costa slips it in, tries to connect with Leo de Oliveira. We're 52 seconds remaining in the power play. Sockers have yet to find a confident shot on de Lima, other than that shot by Morales. Well, that's as confident as you can get. A potential Wallace score. Ball is loose, open, and a shot into the back of the net. Shredding the netting is Keiko Gontan. It is a power play goal for San Diego.
Keiko Gontan getting his 5th goal of the season. The 5th leading scorer does a brilliant first touch right there to create the space. Sees the opening high, takes it cool as you like. Gontan finds the back of the net again, and my goodness, he is off to quite a start to this season.
And you have to credit head coach of the Sockers, Phil Salvaggio, for throwing out that challenge flag. He knows how dangerous his team can be in this power play percentage. So at 50% prior to that, those numbers are only going to go up. We are leveled at 1-1 with 8:21 remaining in the first quarter. Munir Alami set to take the restart for Empire. Alami in his rookie season out of Morocco, played in the Moroccan First Division. There's an errant, unforced turnover by Ciro Oliveira, the goal scorer for the Strykers. Christian Gutierrez, affectionately known as Golden Gutierrez, with the amount of goals that he's scored. Mendez absolutely puts his defender in his back pocket, fires one and saved by de Lima.
Antonio De La Torre got absolutely bailed out there by de Lima.
I mean, what a fantastic set of feet that Mendez has. I know in this building, the Los Angeles Kings minor league team in the AHL, the Ontario Reign, played in, but boy, did Mendez put his defender on ice skates. De Lima's going to chip it in, trying to find Stinson. Stinson with his header. Came off the wrong side of his noodle, and that is out of play.
Folks, MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League. All the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more. Be sure to check out MASLsoccer.com. You are watching the MASL on CBS Sports Golazo Network.
With 6 miles, runway 6 right, cleared on.
Across the nation, MASL players are giving back, utilizing their professional power to touch and inspire people in their local communities nationwide. Free soccer clinics, where kids can meet their heroes and learn new skills. After-school programs and special events. And surprise visits to the classroom. Visiting brave kids in the hospital, bringing joy and hope. Supporting special needs care, partnering with local businesses, and so much more. MASL, passion on the field, purpose off the field, committed to community.
With the first quarter at Toyota Arena, we're just coming out of our media timeout. Abdul Mansoureh charges in front of Drew Ruggles, but the official is going to blow a foul on Mansoureh.
Call is for a high boot there. Interesting.
Interesting indeed. Brilliant pass in from Costa, trying to find Ruggles. Drew Ruggles, an outstanding defender in this league. Awesome pass from Mustafa Guy into Abdul Mansoureh. The turnaround does not lead to a shot, and that is booted out of play by Guy.
Momo Guy had a brilliant opportunity there, tried to roof it, unfortunately ended up netting it. Momo Guy just seems to be struggling to find his shooting boots this season. After an impressive performance last season, he's been off to a slow start here as another common foul is called on the field. It'll be San Diego ball.
7 minutes and 2 remaining in this first quarter. Pass comes in off the wall to Voy Morgan, back into the game after he took a knock into the corner. It's good to see Morgan back. He is a big part of the Sockers offense and a very talented and fun scorer to watch. Cardenas in to Leo de Oliveira. The pass comes in to Tavoy Morgan. Tavoy with the quick turnaround finds himself in a striker's sandwich. Mendez back to Leo. Sebastian Mendez, along with his teammate Luis Morales, came over to the San Diego Sockers from the Texas Outlaws. Both players very young in their indoor careers, both featuring for the United States men's national futsal team. Two of the most dynamic scorers that you'll find in indoor. Pass from Oliveira to Mitchell Cardenas. Cardenas into Gontan, who scored the first goal, the power play goal for the Sockers. He finds himself free. De Lima had the save, but Luis Morales is there to pick up the rebound, and the Sockers score another goal. It is now 2-1.
Luis Morales collects the Wallace score and puts it home. For those of you unfamiliar with the indoor lexicon, when the assist goes off the boards, into the shooter, and into the back of the net, you got yourself a Wallace score, and San Diego has got themselves a 2-1 lead.
Morales in the right place at the right time. Finds himself with his 8th goal of the season. Morales, I think I said his 3rd season. He's in his 4th. He was the 21-22 MASL Rookie of the Year. And yes, 3 straight seasons of 20-plus goals. Ruggles is there to intercept an effort from Emmanuel Aguirre into Munir Alami. Pass comes in to Christian Gutierrez. Tried to go to the right to Juan Salazar, picked right back up by the Strikers. Marco Fabian, last season's Golden Boot winner. Player who did score for the Strikers in the last meeting between these two teams. Alami could have nearly connected with Fabian on a counter, but the Sockers do play some fabulous defense thwarting that effort.
Drew Ruggles, great physical defense right there, just breaking up the feeding pass to a streaking Marco Fabian.
Poked from Alami into George De Leon. De Leon, who did get the credit for the assist on his teammate Ciro Oliveira's goal to open things up. And there's a backheel pass picked right back up by San Diego. Gabriel Costa tries to swing it in to Charlie. There's a shot saved by Clayson de Lima, denying Salazar of a goal.
Clayson de Lima using every inch of his width right there to get up and get that one just ushered up to the bar.
Starting to see some significant minutes from Juan Salazar out of Medellin, Colombia. Selected in the MASL draft. Did play collegiately at Point Loma. Got to see this young man at the United Soccer Coaches Convention in Anaheim last season when both teams presented the participants of that convention with a futsal game. Stinson with a shot blocked by Gonzalez. Oliveira has it stripped by Mendez. Mendez has himself a one-on-one with Clayson de Lima. Mendez gets by. He has a shot, and he buries it bottom right corner where the dust mites dwell. And another San Diego Sockers goal. They go up. It is now 3-1.
Clayson de Lima comes out, tries to dominate the space, but beautiful work by Seba Mendez to just let this ball roll outside of the left foot, create him the space, and from the tight angle past the outstretched legs of Ciro Oliveira. And San Diego's got 3 unanswered goals in a row. They are up 3-1.
Sebastian Mendez, fourth season, had himself a year in the MASL with the Dallas Sidekicks, then 2 with the Mesquite Outlaws, starting to really find his bearings in San Diego.
Folks, we'd like to remind you that CBS and the MASL is giving back to those who have put so much on the line to defend us here in Los Angeles. And if you get a chance, head to redcross.org/CBS or text 90999 to donate anything you can to help with the horrific fires that we have experienced here in Los Angeles, just about 30-40 miles to the west of us here in Ontario, California. Anything you can do to help our first responders would be greatly appreciated.
You know, we've been in Ontario for the better part of the last 2 days, and the winds have really picked up significantly around here. Gusts of them at about 40 miles per hour, and earlier today we had reports of a fire started by an arsonist in Griffith Park. Thankfully, that was put out, but with fires and winds raging the way they are, thankfully averted potentially another crisis.
Insane work by the firefighters. They got that fire put out in less than 30 minutes. Impressive performance, but they are battling against some very severe elements here in Southern California. We're used to some windy Santa Anas, but like Philly said, 60-80 mile an hour gusts is just something even we are not used to in this neck of the woods. And obviously the result over the course of the past couple weeks has been astoundingly horrific.
Yeah, we've dealt with a lot of stuff. You and I did lose power at some point, but as we mentioned during our last broadcast, paled in comparison to what some people lost in the Pacific Palisades, Altadena, several other pockets. Again, our hearts go out to you. Hopefully what LA can do is rebuild and reshine. And here we are offering you a reprieve on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And so far it's been San Diego who is controlling this game, scoring 3 goals to the Empire Strykers 1. It's 3 unanswered goals as Ciro Oliveira opened up the score. But since then, San Diego has really been relentless, exposing some unforced and errant turnovers by the Strikers. Fabian tried to find Mansoure. Costa was there. Fabian, clever use of the wall. He fires a shot. Marco Fabian beats Xavier Snare Williams, putting another one in the back of the net for the Strikers. Doctor, walk us through.
What a solo effort by Marco the Marvelous. Does the defensive work to win the ball back. A little bit of trickery to give him some space, and then absolutely hammers one home. Xavier Snare Williams shielded off of the shot, was late to respond, and nothing he could do about it as it's off his shoulder and into the back of the net. Marco continues his prolific tear. It's 3-2.
15th goal of the season. Marco, one of the most humble athletes you will ever come across, will tell you that he doesn't quite get the indoor game yet, but after watching how he got by his defender with the wall and firing it in past Xavier Snare Williams, it's safe to say Marco gets indoor soccer. You don't score as many goals as he has in a season and change without gaining some kind of knowledge as to how this game is played.
Prolific player. He's got a gold medal. He's got a pokal already on the trophy cabinet at home.
Fancy maneuvering by Oliveira. Just has nobody to connect with as that ball comes out of play.
Folks, Green Drop offers a better alternative to the outdated compression sleeves and socks, truly providing long-lasting relief at affordable prices. Check out greendropcompression.com.
You know, we're barely a quarter in. We've already seen 5 goals. The last time these two teams met, the Sockers won by a score of 4-3. We didn't really see any goals in the second half, but always an entertaining scenario when the Sockers and the Strykers tango.
It's a very defensive-oriented affair down at Front Wave Arena. We've already matched the scoring levels nearly in that game here in just 1 quarter. A more traditional indoor score here. Usually a very high-scoring game, averaging north of 10-15 goals a game.
Andy Reyes in the game. He leads the Empire Strykers with 7 assists to go along with his 3 goals. He's got 10 on the season. Last year, a veteran of this league had his best season in the world of indoor. Aging like a fine wine, should I say. Emmanuel Aguirre, who started his youth career in Liga MX with Atlas and Toluca, also featured for the Mexican Arena national team. Last year, he also had his best offensive performance. Clayson de Lima into Aguirre. Aguirre with a shot saved by Snare Williams. X gonna give it to you. Another attempt that ricochets and misses. Another attempt off of Cardenas by De Leon. The official is gonna blow the whistle.
It's gonna be a foul called against San Diego. Empire will have the ball just outside the offensive yellow line.
We're under 90 seconds here in this first quarter. For those who are tuning into this, wondering what's going on, we got 4 quarters in indoor soccer, 15 minutes a pop. 15-minute break in between the second quarter and the third quarter. And, well, we love to call this the greatest show on turf. Restart for the Empire. De Leon's going to drop it off to Fabian. Fabian right into Salazar, and that takes Salazar to the ground. You felt that from well up here in the booth. A missile, if you will. Let's take a look at that again. Fabian cocks back. And that looked like it came off of Salazar. Did it come off of his? Looked like it came off his, well, a part of the body that we can't exactly specify here on the air in ways that we can cleverly get away with on a national broadcast. But either way, we hope Salazar is back up to his toes. He is. Again, I feel that for him.
Oh, well, the family crest appears to be intact as he heads back to the bench there. And speaking of thoughts and prayers, ours are with Salazar at the moment.
They breed them tough in Medellin, so we'll see Juan Salazar back, but after that rocket, might be a little while. Strykers look to set up on the restart again. Fabian into De Leon. Shot comes off of Mansoret, picked up by Charlie Gonzalez. Charlie facing pressure is going to lob it, trying to connect with Morales. Morales, who had the Wallace score earlier.
That's impressive. 2 guys pinning you into the boards, and that was a pinpoint exit pass within a foot of the player he was trying to reach. What skill.
Perez, Alan Perez into Justin Stinson. We're under a minute to go here in this first quarter. Aguirre into Fabian. Fabian chips it, trying to find the stinger. Justin Stinson comes off of the boards. Still a battle, still a scrum, won by Gutierrez. Gutierrez rolls it into Gonzalez. Stinson with a shot. Picked right back up by Fabian. Shot punched away by X. X gonna give it to you again. Mansoret. Put Charlie Gonzalez on skates.
Well, you do not see that happen very often. Typically one of the most sure-footed midfielders in the game.
To use a little term from the N1 mixtapes, broke his ankle. 15 seconds to go here in this first quarter. Strykers are going to try to get one more attempt before we go into a break. Stinson tries to find Fabian. Closed in on his Morales. He's going to push it back to Robert Palmer. Palmer. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter, folks. We've already seen 5 goals. This has been an exciting one. 3-2. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back with the start of the second quarter, we have more indoor soccer for you. You're watching the Major Arena Soccer League live on CBS Sports Golazo Network.
MASL Monday every Monday night on MASL TV and CBS Sports Golazo Network. Hosts Alex Bastiovansky and Phil Levanco are joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap the weekend's game and discuss the league's hot topics.
For those concerned with the well-being of Juan Salazar, who took a shot to, the area, he's standing. So that is a good sign. So we should probably be seeing him later on in this quarter. And speaking of quarters, what an exciting one to have for the first 15 minutes for the Empire Strykers. Ciro Oliveira got the scoring started, but then we had 3 unanswered goals by San Diego. Goals by Keiko Gontan, Luis Morales, and Sebastian Mendez. But Marco Fabian getting the second goal for the Empire Strykers, and that's what has us at this current score line of 3-2. Both teams with 7 shots. So fairly even game in a lot of ways today.
Right now, it's really been the X-Man, Xavier Snare-Williams, coming up with a couple huge saves on a flurry of shots from Empire that has kept San Diego with the 1-goal lead.
X should be pretty thrilled that Front Wave Arena is in Oceanside, because that's actually where he's from. Plays with the United States men's national beach soccer team. Had some time over at San Diego Christian College. And under the tutelage of Boris Pardo, who once again, congratulations, got his 10,000th minute in the MASL, has really come along swimmingly well. A keeper of the future for San Diego.
Incredible performance in the last match versus these two teams. Standing on his head, making saves left and right down at Front Wave.
Mendez into Gontan. He is going to fire it away to Cardenas. Cardenas is going to go up high, well into the stratosphere, off it to Voy Morgan. De Oliveira is going to head it, picked right back up by Tony Delatorre, but stolen by Gontan. Palmer takes it away, and now a threatening opportunity for Munir Alami. Dumps it into Robert Palmer, tries to walla it into Alami, but Leo De Oliveira is there, connecting with Mendez. Mendez already with a goal today. Is going to find Gontan. Stinson closes in on him, taken back up by De Oliveira. And we have a goalkeeper change as Brian Orozco checks into the second quarter for Clayson De Lima. With the Strikers utilizing the 6th attacker as often as they do, the fear is fatiguing the keepers, and that's why you're going to see quite a few changes. Stinson over to Ciro. Ciro to Orozco. Orozco, a fine young talent, started his young club career at Guatemalan Giants Comunicaciones. Andy Reyes trying to get by a former teammate of his and Christian Gutierrez. A lot of these players have played with each other quite a bit. Awala from Mansoure. Mansoure, in the last game that we saw against the St. Louis Ambush, had a self-walla scorer, meaning that he hit it off the wall and it somehow found its way into the back of the net, beating then ambush keeper Paulo Nascimento.
1 in a million shot. What a goal.
I bet you couldn't see that multiple times, even if you tried. You're right, a 1 in a million type of a shot, but you got to see it. A clear golazo. And shout out to CBS Sports Golazo, speaking of which.
Love me some CBS Sports Golazo Network. I'm a morning footy fan. You know, my boy.
Alexis Guerreros.
Yeah, rocking out with his chunk out, representing for all us Gordos out there. Much love.
Yeah, I know Susanna Collins just recently said she was going to call it a day. Great cast there. Charlie Davies, Nico Cantor. Start my morning every morning with morning footy. All things considered, I'd rather watch morning footy than the news.
Certainly more uplifting of late, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Speaking of uplifting, there's Marco Fabian. He should be pretty thrilled. His former team, Eintracht Frankfurt, beat Borussia Dortmund this past Friday by a score of 2-0. Marco Fabian, who won a Pokal, as you alluded to, with Eintracht Frankfurt back in 2018. Very impressive is Eintracht is one of the most beloved and well-supported teams in the Bundesliga, but not a team that has many trophies to boot.
You were once a Frankfurter yourself, if I am not mistaken. I saw you rocking that sweet black and gold Eintracht Mario Götze kit on your way in today.
Yeah, the 125th anniversary. Part of the proceeds of that kit purchase goes to the Eintracht Frankfurt Museum. And by the way, when I was there in August, guess whose face was on the front door of the Eintracht Frankfurt Museum? Marco Fabian's, to commemorate that 2018 Bundesliga Pokal. For those wondering what that is, it's the equivalent of the FA Cup. Here in the United States, the equivalent of winning the US Open Cup, as every team in Germany gets to compete with one another. Marco's seen some success. Alami with a shot, nearly connects in that upper left corner. Ricocheting back over to Stinson. Fabian sandwiched in between two Sockers defenders. There was a valiant effort by Orozco. San Diego Sockers, by the way, debuting a fantastic kit.
Tonight's the first time we've seen these new gray and golds, and I have to say it's a sharp, sharp look.
Yeah, big shout out to Flight.
Uh-oh, he can't touch that ball.
Fabian is going to come back. Oh, that nearly went off of Orozco in the wrong way.
Folks wondering why the keeper can't touch that ball right there, because he had already made one touch on the ball in the defensive half of the field. You are only allowed one per possession. A second touch would have been a foul from the spot. Thankfully, Strykers able to clean up a mess at the back there.
Nobody knows the rule book as well as the doctor. Stolen by Fabian. Fabian pokes it into George De Leon. De Leon out of Waco, Texas, passes it into Alami. Alami, who's been very explosive in his rookie season for the Strykers. 8 goals, 6 assists.
Third leading scorer on the team. Heck of a rookie campaign.
Perez tries to find Alami, chips it, still has it. And Mendez is going to come back up with it. Under 10 remaining in the half. Mendez to his former outlaw teammate, Morales, into Gontan. Gontan tried to go back to Morales, but Alami was there. Fabian nearly does what you love to shout out on the broadcast, hits a superstructure violation, hitting the scoreboard. We don't get to see that very often.
No Marco-sized dents in the scoreboard yet. You know how much I love myself a superstructure violation, though.
I've never seen you get more excited on the call for anything else other than a superstructure violation.
It's a glorious, glorious event when it happens.
Not one that happens very often. Perhaps down in Texas with the Outlaws, as they have a jumbo screen there. Pass from De Oliveira into Cardenas. Cardenas to Gonzalez. Gonzalez to Costa. Great ball movement by the Sockers. Mansoure tries to come up with it. Robert Palmer The reigning defender of the year comes back up with it. And a one-on-one opportunity with Morales and Orozco. Morales tries to get the better of Orozco. Orozco denies Morales!
Ooh, save of the week candidate right there, my goodness. Brian Orozco.
Fantastic save by the young keeper, stopping a tremendous goal scorer. And that's going to be a whistle going against Palmer for the push-off on Costa. Let's take a look at that bad boy. Again, Morales one-on-one. Tries to find the fancy maneuvering past Orozco, but Orozco is not to be duped. Completely shovels it into his chest. Morales already getting denied. Let's keep an eye on him. You know that's going to cause a chip on his shoulder.
He's currently poaching at the back post right now.
Shot by Charlie Gonzalez. Strykers lose it. Ruggles into Cardenas. Cardenas is going to slow up the offense. San Diego's going to restart things.
After a flurry of goals in the first quarter, it's been a defensive-minded second quarter so far.
Taken away by Empire. Alami into Reyes. Andy Reyes with a shot, saved by X.
I took a deflection on the way through. Much more difficult save than it appeared.
Mendez and Bebe Gonzalez. Bebe, his nickname affectionately. Tavoy Morgan with a shot. And Tavoy Morgan finds the back of the net, and the Sockers once again go up by 2 goals. It is now 4-2.
For the 10th time this season, Tavoy Morgan, the Jamaican, finds the back of the net. Takes a deflection on the way through. Nothing Orozco can do about it. You will be back with more action after this.
The wait is over. The 2025 MASL season is here. Bigger and better than ever. Get ready for high-speed action, jaw-dropping goals, and fierce competition as your favorite teams battle it out on the field. With intense rivalries, unforgettable moments, and new stars rising, the MASL delivers excitement every week. Get your tickets now and be part of the excitement, because this season, the action is non-stop.
Are you looking for inspiration? The FYI podcast delivers stories of inspiring individuals like the Strikers, Marco Fabian, Momo, and their remarkable personal journeys.
Because you're going to see people from all parts of life. They're us, everyday people facing everyday obstacles, and how they overcome them is a blueprint for all of us to learn from.
If you want to be inspired, subscribe to the FYI podcast.
Indoor soccer fans, it's time to unleash a giant leap for fandom. Introducing MASL Indoor Soccer Fantasy Football. Build your dream team, invite your friends, and create your own draft league, all for free. Draft and trade players and win bragging rights as your team dominates the league. With MASLI Football, you're not just a fan, you're part of the action. Go to MASLI Football to sign up, get started, and play.
Welcome back to Toyota Arena, where the visiting San Diego Sockers have the 4-2 lead on Empire. Both teams averaging right around that 6-goal per game mark, and certainly on pace to smash that number tonight in either case. It's been a great one so far, Philly.
It has. 4-2 now the score. Tavoy Morgan, assisted by Sebastian Mendez, gets the 4th goal of the game for the Sockers. And Tavoy is there to do one thing, Doc. Tavoy is there to destroy, and he's done so successfully since coming to the Sockers from the Harrisburg Heat during that 2021 season. De Leon with a shot fires off of the plexi, picked up by Cardenas. You could argue that Tavoy's addition to the San Diego Sockers is really what propelled them to a position to where they won that Rod Newman Cup in 2021 here in Toyota Arena against this team, the Empire Strykers.
Foul by Gunten on Berto. I couldn't agree with you more. The addition of Tavoy Morgan has been a prolific one for San Diego. He's really found himself a home in sunny Southern California.
He loves the heat coming in from Jamaica. Can't imagine he enjoyed being in brisk Harrisburg. Harrisburg, of course, the capital of the Keystone State, Pennsylvania. Remember the commercials growing up. Pennsylvania, America starts here. And the pass from Gabriel Costa was picked up by Tony Della Torre. but it comes off of him and out of play. Della Torre, who comes into Empire from Kansas City, where he only played in 6 games, but Tony Della Torre has gotten a lot of burn for head coach Onuo Obasi.
We got a foul at midfield here as Drew Ruggles picks himself up off the deck. Great experience last year for Tony Della Torre, though, as Kansas City went all the way to the Ron Newman Cup finals, falling in the finals to the back-to-back champions, Chihuahua Savage.
Gontan trying to get by Bebe Gonzalez. Talk about the only team that's added a blemish to the Savages' record. It's this San Diego Sockers team. Sockers a pick for Phil Levanco to win the Ron Newman Cup this season. Phil Levanco, of course, one of the hosts of MASL on Monday, along with Alex Bashchevansky, who you referred to. You will see Alex Bashchevansky on MASL in 5 here at halftime.
Hey, yo, Phil.
Hey, yo, Phil, indeed. From my neck of the woods, Queens, New York. And by the way, to everybody in New York right now, particularly in the city, I hope your heaters are running, because New York's experiencing some really cold weather. Picked up by Aguirre. Aguirre and Morgan. Costa gets involved. Back to Bebe Gonzalez. And I'm sure the fans over at Utica City, by the way, shout out to them, some of the best fans in this league. Along with Tony Della Torre's former Kansas City Comets fans, some of the greatest fans ever. And of course, shout out to all the Sockers fans, but the weather they're experiencing in New York City, that's just another day in Utica.
You're not wrong. What, about 70 degrees outside here today? Winter weather here in the IE.
Felt a little different, though, in the shade with 30-mile-per-hour winds.
It's definitely a blustery one, that's for sure.
And look who's back onto the field. Juan Salazar. The family jewels are intact, folks. Stinson over to Reyes, to Aguirre. Aguirre to a wide-open Oliveira. Ciro connects with Orozco off of the wall. Orozco tries to walla it in. Ball is loose, picked back up by Stinson. Justin Stinson, who in his youth career spent a little bit of time with the West Ham Youth Academy, an academy that has produced some of the finest players the world of football has ever seen.
Up the Hammers.
Stinson dances it past that yellow line. Speaking of which, speaking of England, Alex Bradley not on the roster today. He's still dealing with a groin issue.
Ooh.
Bradley, who came in from the Milwaukee Wave, a plethora of experience, winning a Ron Newman Cup trophy with the Milwaukee Wave. In his short few games with the Strykers, he's been deadly. Shot by Oliveira. Orozco with a shot, misses. And we mention that because we do hope that Bradley can get back into the lineup, as he adds a lot of experience, defensive prowess, and a lot of skill, should I say. Might I add, I should say.
Strikers could certainly use that 1.6 points per game average right now. Looking to hopefully get Bradley back off the shelf and into matches soon. Word on the street is he has been training with the team, so.
And no, we're not saying this because he's in the broadcast booth with us, folks. Just a little peek under the broadcast blinders. Fabian into Alami. Alami gets shoved into the boards. The Dasher boards are done. Not done, but ripped. Costa showing us some Justin Stinson-esque footwork. I can't say that. Costa has come into his own. There he is once again. Gabriel Costa with Salazar on the breakaway. And Leo de Oliveira. Oliveira tries to scoop by his defender. Shot wide off of the plexi.
It was a great recovery run by Alan Perez to provide some balance there to the defense for Empire.
Costa still has it. A battle in the box. Poked away. We see Travis Pittman on the turf. Costa with a shot. Saved by Orozco. It comes off of his paws, but into the back of the net, and the Sockers strike once again.
Will be Gabriel Costa, who's credited with the goal as this ping-pongs around. We call that a classic indoor goal, folks. You never know what's going to happen when you put one into the mixer there. It's a great save initially, but unfortunately, Alami can't get out of the way of the rebound. Plays off of him and back into the net, and with that, San Diego's got a 5-2 lead.
Wrong place at the wrong time for Alami, but a great goal by Gabriel Costa. Costa, who did start his rookie season with the Empire Strykers, was the league's Rookie of the Year, has since gone down to San Diego, and well, he's been thoroughly successful ever since he's come in to the indoor game. Sockers up by 3 with less than 3 remaining. Orozco with a shot off of Snare Williams, and Orozco is going to go down.
Orozco close to going into the boards there. You have to wonder if a blue card boarding might be in the works here, but it looks like just a common foul adjudicated.
Orozco back up to his feet. Restart. Fabian, who normally likes to one-time it from that position, into Stinson. Stinson marked by Travis Pittman. Pittman, who also called Ontario home for a little while. Pittman played collegiately at West Virginia, a veteran of this league. It's great to see Travie P back in the indoor game.
One of the best nicknames. Much love to Travie P.
Into Orozco. Orozco fires it in. Pittman is going to poke it away to Gutierrez. Gutierrez marked by Reyes. He's going to back circle, passing it into captain of the day, Mitchell Cardenas. Mendez tries to backheel it into Sean Callahan. Callahan fighting with Reyes, but Orozco's going to settle on it. Throwing it out to Stinson. Less than 2 remaining here in the second quarter. De Leon leaves it off to Stinson. The Stinger looking to make his move. Back over to De Leon. Perez. And the Sockers defense just preventing the Strikers from really finding it in past the yellow line into their attack zone.
Really high line of confrontation from San Diego, keeping 3 up top, trying to challenge that entry ball, stopping the Strikers from really getting set up in their extra man system.
And with Orozco well out of his net, there's a couple of snipers on that Sockers team right now that could really thread it through from that angle. So Strikers are going to have to be very careful not to cause an unforced turnover. Stinson still finding trouble getting in. De Leon over to Orozco. Fabian has it. Fabian with a goal already tonight.
He looked like he was eyeing that one up for a second.
We're under a minute remaining here in this second quarter. Can the Strikers pull one back before both teams get into the locker room? Strikers have no problem utilizing as much of the clock as they can until they find themselves a shot. Stinson with one, fires it in, and that's going to come well off of target, but off the Sockers, and it's going to be a corner kick restart for Empire.
It was a good idea there, just caught a boot on its way in, took a deflection high up into the netting.
Reyes set to take that corner kick. He's got Fabian outside of the yellow line and Justin Stinson on the opposite side wide open. Keep your eye on Fabian. He loves to one-time it off of this restart. Into Aguirre, saved by Snare Williams. Aguirre still has it. Turns around, tries to fire it in, but there's Pittman making a defensive play. Fabian with a shot into the net. A clever, clever play by Andy Reyes, connecting with Emmanuel Aguirre, but Snare Williams is there to snare it away.
Well played, Philly, well played.
I try. 33 seconds, and that goes off of Mustafa Guy. Restart. Morgan tried to do it quickly. Leaves it off to Charlie Gonzalez. Gonzalez into Cardenas. Less than 30 remaining in the second quarter. Can the Sockers punch another one through? Snare Williams is well outside of his position. Trying to find Morgan. Guy was there into Orozco. 15 seconds remaining in the half. Orozco is going to fire it into Stinson. Back over to Bebe Gonzalez. 4 seconds. Charlie, his brother, tries to chip it into Costa, but that's going to be the end of the half, folks. Commanding performance for the San Diego Sockers, the 16-time indoor champions. They are up by 3 goals, 5-2.
Goal scorers for San Diego: Tavoy Morgan, Seba Mendez, Gabriel Costa, Keko Gontan, and Luis Morales. On the other side, it's Ciro Oliveira and Marco Fabian for your Empire Strykers. Folks, get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams by following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on X. While you're there, be sure to check out the social media accounts for the Empire Strykers and the San Diego Sockers, your 2 teams competing in today's match. Philly, your thoughts on the first half?
I mean, it was an exciting first half. We've already seen 7 goals, which is the exact amount that we saw at Front Wave Arena, although the score was a lot closer than it currently is. We see the goal by Marco Fabian there drawing closer, but I mean, it was a strong, strong end of the second quarter for San Diego as we saw goals by Gabriel Costa and Tavoy Morgan. They're currently in a very comfortable position, 5-2, but it's been an exciting one, Doc.
It has been an exciting match. San Diego streaking with a 3-goal streak and a 2-goal streak so far to establish their 5-2 goal lead. But let's get a little bit of sound from Onua Obasi with our sideline reporter Amanda the Panda Filament. Take it away, Panda.
Hey guys, I'm here with head coach Onua Obasi. A couple costly errors there in the first half. What's your assessment on this game, and how do we get back into it?
Yeah, disappointing. A lot of individual lack of quality, poor mistakes. So yeah, it's disappointing because we spoke. The only way they were going to have a chance in this game, specifically before the injuries they have, is if we give them easy chances. And you know, we spoke about no blues, and we give an early blue. So it's disappointing, but we have to just look forward. You know, we have to do better in the second half.
Yeah, this San Diego has one of the stingiest defenses in this league. So how do you break that down and get some more goals in the back of the net and finish out this game with a win?
Yeah, we've had chances, to be fair. I think if we put our chances away, the score's probably closer than it is. They probably deserve to be up with the mistakes we've made. But I think if we keep doing what we're doing, if we kind of get back to how we play and not let it become transitional, I think we'll be able to get back in the game.
All right, can't wait to see you in the second half. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Subscribe today to MASL TV on YouTube. You'll find the game rebroadcasts, MASL shows, highlights, and more. You are watching the Major Arena Soccer League on CBS Sports Golazo Network.
With 6 miles, runway 26 right, cleared on.
The wait is over. The 2025 MASL season is here. Bigger and better than ever. Get ready for high-speed action, jaw-dropping goals, and fierce competition as your favorite teams battle it out on the field. With intense rivalries, unforgettable moments, and new stars rising, the MASL delivers excitement every week. Get your tickets now and be part of the excitement, because this season, the action is non-stop.
Are you looking for inspiration? The FYI podcast delivers stories of inspiring individuals like the Strykers, Marco Fabian, Momo, and their remarkable personal journeys.
Because you're going to see people from all parts of life. They're us, everyday people facing everyday obstacles, and how they overcome them is a blueprint for all of us to learn from.
If you want to be inspired, subscribe to the FYI podcast.
The San Diego Strykers are coming into tonight's matchup on a 7-game win streak, keeping their sights locked on league leaders Chihuahua. So every point is crucial for them as they are looking to bag that top spot. Now, with a vastly more competitive team this season under head coach Onua Obasi, the Strykers are looking to solidify themselves as a playoff contender after coming off of back-to-back wins against the Ambush. Now, whichever team you're here to support tonight, what we can all agree on is that when these two SoCal rivals get together, it is a fiercely competitive battle. Now, one thing to keep in mind, though, as we learned right before kickoff, is that Craig Childs will not be suiting up for tonight's matchup. So very curious to see how this matchup is going to shake up tonight. Back to you guys up in the booth.
Across the nation, MASL players are giving back, utilizing their professional power to touch and inspire people in their local communities nationwide. Free soccer clinics, where kids can meet their heroes and learn new skills. After-school programs and special events. And surprise visits to the classroom. Visiting brave kids in the hospital, bringing joy and hope. supporting special needs care, partnering with local businesses, and so much more. MASL, passion on the field, purpose off the field, committed to community.
What's up guys, my name is Ricky Ortiz. I'm a 25-year-old YouTuber with muscular dystrophy. I make videos about my life, me trying new things to get me out of my comfort zone. Today, I had the chance to join the Empire Strykers, thanks to the MASL and National Course Finding Your Inspiration podcast. From stepping onto the field, to signing a one-day contract and receiving my jersey. This experience means the world to me. Today is definitely a day I'll never forget.
Hey guys, I'm Amanda the Panda in the vault today, bringing you another interview. And today I'm joined by Abdul Mansoure. Abdul, thank you for joining me today.
Hi Amanda, how are you?
I'm doing great. Today we are celebrating the life and legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. And one of his quotes was, "Change does not come in on the wheels of inevitability, but rather by continuous struggle." Now, the Strykers have struggled in the past couple seasons, but it does feel like the tides are turning. What do you think it is that has helped contribute to their success this season so far?
There's a couple things. Obviously, us having a new coach has been a big boost for the boys. He's an ex-teammate of mine, and since he's been in, it's been a breath of fresh air. Coming from last season where we only got 3 wins. I mean, as of right now, we're sitting in more wins than we had the whole season last year. So, I mean, it's been great, and just long may it continue.
Yeah, no doubt. We can't wait to see how this season does pan out. Now, for you personally, let's talk a bit about you. Now, one of my favorite goals, probably of all time, is from you. And it was in 2021, the Ron Newman Cup mini game final. You put us in that go-ahead position, up 1-0 against the San Diego Sockers, who we are playing tonight. And it was just such a great moment, lots of hope in that moment, and that was from you. And I think we were so proud of just you as a player and seeing that success. Now this season, you have lots more of those memories that you're making. So far, you have 11 points, 6 goals, and 5 assists. What's contributing to such a dynamic season for you this season?
I mean, solely I'll bring it down to being able to play. I mean, being able to have the opportunity to show what I can do has been a big factor. I feel like Obasi has a lot of belief in me, and the only thing I try and do is to repay that belief every single time I step on the field.
No doubt. You certainly have lots of highlight reels for you this season so far. Can't wait to see how it continues for you. Now, you grew up in England, in London. Who was a team that you supported growing up, and do you have anybody that influenced your style of play today, or somebody you look up to?
One would be Chelsea Football Club, and
congrats on the win today.
Oh, thank you very much. And so a big factor in why I'm playing football right now today is my cousin Akim. He got me into the sport. We played a lot when we were younger, and that's really the reason, that's what got me into football and what got me even into supporting Chelsea.
Well, definitely a great influence, and you seem to learn a lot of fun to watch play. I can't wait to see, again, how the rest of the season pans out for you and the whole team. Congrats on a successful season so far, and thanks for sitting down with me.
Thank you so much, Amanda.
All right, thanks, guys.
Shoot! He scores!
What's going on, everyone? This is the MASL in 5. I've got to get you caught up on everything that's gone down in the league over the past week in just 5 minutes. Let's go.
And it is the last shot of the power play. But now Costa's got a shot to Childs! The shot pass! The hat trick! Who did it? He did it! The captain, Craig Childs! That's who!
It was a clash of the Titans on Wednesday as Kansas City visited San Diego. The Comets were undefeated in regulation time. No longer, though. Craig Childs had a hat trick, and San Diego prevailed 7-4 in that contest. St. Louis nearly pulled off the upset of the season in Chihuahua. They led 9-7 against the Savage in the fourth quarter until Chihuahua got the comeback going and ended up prevailing in the contest 11-9. Now, Frank Taiyu had 4 goals in that game. A few days later, though, a bombshell. St. Louis posted on its Twitter account that Taiyu had left the team. The ambush then suspended Frank for conduct detrimental to the team and failure to meet contractual obligations. An unfortunate situation as the ambush lose a superstar. We will keep you up to date as we find out more. Dallas are really turning heads this season. They faced Empire last weekend and dropped them 7-6. The Sidekicks improved to 3-4, and they are currently in the 8th and final playoff spot. Baltimore continues to roll right along. They have looked like a contender this year. They dropped Utica 5-4 last weekend to improve to 6-1. They have now defeated Utica in 3 straight games. Milwaukee also continues to impress. They were all over Texas like a bad rash last week, taking down the Outlaws 14-5. The Wave enter this weekend tied for second with just 1 loss on the season. Finally, a campaign that started out with so much hope in Tacoma is rapidly losing steam. The Stars hosted San Diego on the 10th and suffered their 6th straight loss, falling 9-5. Okay, Commissioner Keith Tozer joined us on MASL Monday to announce the Capelli Commissioner final 2 picks for the upcoming All-Star game. Gordy Gerson got one of the nods. Solid as usual, Gordy is this season. 5 goals, 2 assists for 7 points. Joey Tavernese got the other nod. He is having a resurgent, unreal season for the Harrisburg Heat. 15 points so far this campaign, 12 goals and 3 assists. And of course, it all culminates at the MASL All-Star Game, February 12th in Utica, New York, on that beautiful turf, the league's best, going toe-to-toe. We cannot wait. Players of the week now, Willie B picking up the honor again in goal. Defensively, Jesus Pacheco, and offensively, Ricardo Carvalho of the Milwaukee Wave as well. Ricardo wrecking shop against Texas. 6 points in that single game, 3 goals and 3 assists. Defensively, Pacheco, great against Utica. 2 blocks to go along with also 2 big goals to help lead the Blast to the win over the Blues. And in goal, Willie B, so good all season long. 12 saves against the Texas Outlaws, and he even chipped in offensively with 1 assist. Okay, time now for the plays of the week.
Give and go, Hernandez looking for a lane in the corner, gets it back. Great feed from Hernandez.
Comets all of a sudden getting some space to operate. Marquez off the board.
Wallace scored himself, huh?
Oh, what a pretty goal. Rion Marquez.
En la media cancha de la posesión. Balón filtrado. Va a llegar solo Varela. Goal!
Everyone moving around. Pass goes through. It's tapped home at the back post. Gersten scores. And Utica City right back in it. As here's Welly Bramusi. And Welly steps to his left side. Plays it off. Pacheco scores. Jesus Pacheco.
Restart. Plays it across, Huffman shot, and we got a goal by Ian Bennett here tonight to make it 4-0.
Algo de ventaja.
Allá viene la pelota para Miguel Ángel Díaz. ¡Ah, qué buen trazo le puso por ahí! ¡A Tobar!
Chance to play it into the corner. And the shot off the crossbar. What a chance. Did that one get in? It did from Alami off a great feed.
And of course, all throughout the MASL season, you can stay up to date on everything that's going down in the league by checking out its official social media outlets. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Well, welcome back to Toyota Arena, folks. Let's take a look at some of these stats as the San Diego Sockers currently lead the Empire Strykers by a score of 5-2. Both teams even on the shots on goal with 11 apiece. The saves between Xavier Snare-Williams, Brian Orozco, and Clayson DeLima stand at 5 for Sockers, 6 for the Empire Strykers. And, well, the Sockers were a little less naughty than Empire was, as they only had 3 fouls to the Strikers 5. It's been an exciting game thus far. I know you all didn't get a chance to see this at halftime, but wanted to give a shout out to the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity that was out there performing. Of course, as many of you may or may not know, Dr. Martin Luther King was a member of Alpha Phi Alpha during his time as a graduate student at Boston University back in 1952, so they put on a great performance.
Was excellent moving performance there at halftime, but we got a 3-goal lead separating two powerhouse teams here. 30 minutes of soccer left to play to decide who's going home with the points today.
The most impressive thing is that the San Diego Sockers came here without a lot of their firepower. We don't see Ben Raymond. We don't see Cesar Cerda, Craig Childs, Luis Pee-wee Ortega, and yet they are still giving it to the Empire as Fabian's shot misses off of the right post. Juan Salazar battling with Robert Palmer, taken away. Scrum on the boards right by the Sockers bench in front of the Sockers' biggest fan, Cowboy Salazar. There's going to be a foul down on the turf as Ciro Oliveira, or no, I'm sorry, Justin Stinson. It was the bleached blonde hair that caused me to make the error. Stinson back up, heading to the bench.
His former teammate Gabe Costa, the one charged with the foul.
Speaking of Gabe Costa, he inserted his name into this game as the 5th goal scorer, or I should say who scored the 5th goal of the game for the Sockers. And actually, no, 5th goal scorer would make sense, as the goal scoring has been evenly distributed for a Sockers team that only traveled with 13 players. Several key members did not make the trip. The illness bug, the injury bug, load management, what have you. Yet they're really sticking it to the Empire Strykers here. Clayson DeLima starts the 3rd quarter. He started the game. 2nd quarter was Brian Orozco. Xavier Snare-Williams still the goal minder for the San Diego Sockers.
Got a chance to see Travis Pittman get out there and get some work. His 2nd game of the season for San Diego. He had a huge stop versus Marco Fabian on a set piece earlier.
Travis Pittman spent some time here. We've gotten to spend a little bit of time with Travis Pittman. Very pleasant individual. We're happy to see him back in the indoor game. Cardenas off of the boards. Mansoret tried to spin it into Ciro Oliveira. Fabian applying pressure on Charlie Gonzalez, and Snare-Williams is going to have it. Rolls it into Leo de Oliveira. So because of the players that have similar last names, Charlie Gonzalez and his brother on the Empire Strykers, Juan Bebe Gonzalez, will go to them as Charlie and Bebe. And we've got Ciro Oliveira and Leo de Oliveira. We're just going to go with Ciro and Leo just to avoid any confusion. Into the corner is Robert Palmer. Robert Palmer goes down.
That's 2 quick fouls there on Costa. He's got to be careful. He's getting himself into foul trouble here.
And we saw in the stats that the Sockers only had 3 fouls. You see a couple of quick ones picked up here, barely 2 minutes into the start of the 3rd quarter. Restart for Empire. The Sockers are looking to press up high. Stinson looking to speed past Luis Morales. Stinson into the corner, goes to Snare-Williams. X rolls it in to Cristian Gutierrez. Golden Gutierrez out of Tijuana, Mexico. Ball into Tavoy Morgan. Missed opportunity for the Sockers' leading scorer.
See Morgan really frustrated with himself.
Ball is loose. Kicked out of danger by Bebe Gonzalez. Boots it into Snare-Williams, who Finds it over to Gutierrez. Gutierrez into Ruggles. Ruggles trying to connect with Morgan, intercepted by Aguirre. Great backheel pass. Christian Gutierrez skirts it in with a brilliant pass from Tavoy Morgan, and the Sockers put another goal on the boards, taking a commanding lead now versus the Empire Strykers. It is now 6-2.
This backheel pass, my goodness, what filth from Tavoy Morgan. Sets up Golden Gutierrez, who catches the keeper leaning the wrong direction, slots it in near post. Beautifully worked goal, phenomenal assist, clinical finish. San Diego is back up by 4 at 6-2.
Gutierrez had an easy opportunity, but as we mentioned, what is Tavoy there for? Tavoy is there to destroy, and he absolutely destroyed the Strykers' defense with that backheel pass. Strykers do have a pretty decent hill to climb, but as we know in the game of indoor, a 4-goal lead is not a massive lead.
We've seen 4 goals scored in less than a few minutes' time. Many occasions in this league. 4 goals can happen in a minute.
But the Strykers are going to need to find some offense, not only from their talisman, Marco Fabian, but of course Justin Stinson. Munir Alami, who's in that target forward position, is also going to have to insert his name. Robert Palmer, who's added himself a couple of goals lately, but mainly known for his defensive presence as a 2-time Defender of the Year in this league, and currently the reigning Defender of the Year. Ball in from Oliveira to Alami, rookie-to-rookie tandem. Munir back to Ciro. Ciro into Palmer. Palmer misjudged that one. Salazar tried to cave in on him.
That's a double touch on the keeper there. And it went uncalled. Empire gets away with one, as Clayson de Lima double touched that twice on the defensive side of the ball. That should have been a whistle in San Diego's ball. Empire playing with fire, getting away with one there.
Well, maybe not the proper term to use around here, Doctor. Nobody wants to play with fire around here in Southern California. Not with these 40-mile-per-hour winds, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, my apologies.
All good. You're forgiven for this once. Palmer in the midfield. Over to De Leon. That might be a good time for the Red Cross comment, just to Red Cross shout out, just to, err on your error.
You can head, of course, to redcross.org/CBS or text 90999 to donate whatever you can, and any help and all help would be sincerely appreciated.
Reyes back over to Palmer. Strykers would like to hold possession, but they have had some unforced turnovers that have led to some counters for San Diego and some great goals. Sockers currently in a commanding position, up by 4 here in the third quarter with 9 minutes and 25 remaining here in the third. Ciro back over to Andy Reyes, trying to spread the Sockers defense around. Palmer's going to rest on it, back into Andy Reyes. And this is what the Empire does like to do. They like to lull the defense into a false sense of attack and try to beat them on the counter, but it hasn't worked thus far. Ciro Oliveira may have scored, Marco Fabian may have scored, but that's been all the offense for the Strykers thus far. Back up top to Ciro. Ciro into Clayson de Lima. De Lima fires it into Alami, off of Alami's foot, the wrong way into the net. It's going to be a goalkeeper distribution for the Sockers.
Munir Alami was wide open there for a back post tap in, just couldn't control the heat on the pass from Clayson.
Aguirre gets in the way of a pass that was trying to find its way into Sebastian Mendez. Mendez with a goal and an assist so far. Mansoray collects it. Keiko Gontan trying to prevent Mansoray from advancing the ball. And he gets it over to Aguirre. Aguirre to Stinson. Stinson back to Aguirre in the midfield. Sockers desperately trying to regain possession as Empire's held on to it for a significant period of time here in the third quarter. Taken away by Ruggles. Stinson has it. Stinson, though, with 3 Sockers defenders marking him. Still fires it. Saved by Williams. Snare Williams gets a paw on it. Gutierrez finds Keiko Gontan into Sebastian Mendez. Marco Fabian gets in the way, makes a tremendous defensive effort, thwarting the offensive attempt by Seba Mendez.
Marco Fabian putting in the defensive yeoman's work right there. A man known for his goals, but has really come around on the defensive side of the ball this year. Not the first time he's made a last-ditch save to bring Empire back within possession.
Seeing that competitive fire that Marco possesses. We know he can score goals, but like you said, making those defensive plays, trying to spark some life into his Strykers team. De Lima gets around his defender off of the recovery lap dasher board. Bebe Gonzalez into Aguirre. Aguirre back over to Stinson. Stinson's been awfully quiet today. Perez into the game. Strykers trying to do anything to find some space. Fabian with a shot that deflects off of Gontan. Ruggles now has it. Intercepted by Stinson. And the Sockers take it away. Fabian is there, though. Has Stinson wide open to the right. Into Morales. Fabian still chips it into Stinson. Stinson fires it away to the national course sign.
Looked like he was trying to find Alan Perez, who was making a really great run, but just unfortunately put the pass 5 yards behind him.
I mean, that pass had a lot of spice behind it. So nobody was there. Costa to Cardenas. Sockers finally able to settle on the ball for a little while. A whistle on the turf, foul going against the Empire.
You could tell just by the body language there from Tony De La Torre, he was frustrated. But with that, folks, we're going to head to a timeout. On our way out, we'd like to remind... Oh, I'm sorry, that's a delay of game warning. Excuse me, misread the call. Delay of game warning issued against Empire there for kicking the ball away.
Cardenas on the restart. He's going to pass it in to Charlie Gonzalez. Gonzalez to Leo de Oliveira, taken away by Empire. Oliveira does come back up with it. De Oliveira, I should say. On the counter, on the fast break. Poked away by Quentin Swift. Swift, the Hartford, Connecticut native. Been in Empire for a couple of seasons now. Leo into Charlie Gonzalez. About 5:37 remaining here in this third quarter. Both teams just feeling each other out. We haven't seen too many shots fired on goal between these two teams.
San Diego more than happy to leave Empire with possession as long as that possession is on the wrong side of the yellow line. Some great passing across the back here to create space.
Palmer gets in the way of a pass intended for Seba Mendez. Alami dumps it into Reyes. Reyes into Palmer. As we mentioned, the 52nd meeting between both sides. You know, they call it a rivalry here at Empire, but the Empire, out of those 52 games, have only won 9 of them. And again, they're really going to have to put in a Herculean effort here as the clock is down to 4:46 here in the third quarter. Alami free, tried to find Oliveira, but right into Xavier Snare-Williams.
Empire certainly capable of putting 4 in the net, that's for sure, but having only put in 2 so far, it's a bigger hill to climb versus this prolifically talented San Diego team.
The Strykers average about 5.9 goals for, which happens to be the same exact number that the Sockers have. Pass in from Ciro into Alami. Alami with a shot saved by X. Ball into the corner. Cardenas and Leo de Oliveira close in on Alami. Ball is loose. Back to the capable feet of Andy Reyes. Reyes into Palmer in that midfield. Clayson De Lima well outside of his box. Keep an eye on him. Ciro tried to get it into Alami. Charlie Gonzalez is there. Taken away by Oliveira. Alami has it. Another deflection. Missed opportunity for Empire. Back over to Ciro. Ciro in traffic into the net.
We're starting to see a theme here throughout the course of the game that entrance pass is just taking a little too much heat for Empire to collect. Folks, on our way out, we'd like to remind you that MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League, all the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more.
Indoor soccer fans, it's time to unleash a giant leap for fandom. Introducing MASL Indoor Soccer Fantasy Football. Build your dream team, invite your friends, and create your own draft league, all for free. Draft and trade players and win bragging rights as your team dominates the league. With MASL Football, you're not just a fan, you're part of the action. Go to MASL Football to sign up, get started, and play.
With the call, from 6 right, we're on.
The MASL All-Star Game is headed to Utica, New York on February 12th, 2025. Follow the MASL on social media for updates on tickets, rosters, and more. All-Star Game's going to be a fun one. We got a fun one in front of us here.
I'm so excited. The last time we had an All-Star Game was back in 2021, and that was a lot of fun. That took place at Cable Dome Arena in Kansas City. Looking forward to this one. Fabian with a shot off of Ruggles. Fantastic defensive play. De Lima comes into contact with his own man in Emmanuel Aguirre. The Strikers have had 4 shots on goal to the Sockers 1, but San Diego gonna happily wait for Empire to make any kind of movement here. Yes, the Strikers have held possession. Yes, they have fired more shots than the Sockers, but with them leading by 4 goals, they're just gonna allow Empire to do what they want to do at this point until they really start becoming a threat. Christian Gutierrez, the only goal scorer in this third quarter. That was a goal that came assisted by Tavoy Morgan. Tavoy, who also found the back of the net in the second. Fabian retreats.
San Diego doing a really good job of not letting their defense get too compressed, not getting 2 guys covering the same space. Really good trade-offs and rotations here. They've kept a perfect defensive shape throughout the course of this half.
And miscommunication as Stinson was trying to find Mansoret. Mansoret mistimed that one. Salazar finds Gutierrez. Gutierrez into Mendez. Shot off of the board. Salazar was there. Stinson gets in the way. Aguirre pokes it into Stinson. A golden opportunity for the Strikers on the counter. Stinson into Mansoret. Mansoret with a shot saved by X.
Mansoret put some thunder behind that one. Beautiful save by Xavier Snare Williams. The X-Man coming up big once again for the Sockers.
Let's take a look at that replay once again. Yes, it was a rocket of a shot by Mansoret as Stinson dumped it into him, but X, there must be something about the Strikers that X likes. He always comes up with some really amazing performances against Empire. Stinson getting past that yellow line into Fabian. Fabian with a shot off of Gutierrez. He's going to poke it into Ciro. De Lima's going to come out of his box. He is to the right of Fabian. Salazar and Keiko Gontan closed in on him into Aguirre. Aguirre into Stinson. Anytime that any player of the Empire Strykers has found a pass in, you've had multiple Sockers closing in on them, and it's been rough for Empire to try to thread it through to get a decent look. Fabian with some footwork. Salazar has it with an empty net, and it's going to be a tactical foul on Ciro.
Billy, while we have a moment, in the first half, Leo de Oliveira scored a point, and that had him cross the 300-point mark in his career. Just the 11th player in the history of the MASL to do so. Congratulations to Leonardo de Oliveira for joining the 300-point club, crossing the 3-century mark. Heck of an accomplishment.
Heck of an accomplishment indeed, and he's no stranger to accomplishments. 2021, he was the Ron Newman Cup MVP, played with Brazil in the World Mini Football Club, World Cup, He's number 2 in assists in the MASL of the year prior. He was a pass master. Leo spent some time here in Ontario as well. Just fabulous talent. Speaking of fabulous talent, Morales has the ball stripped by Palmer.
Palmer's showing the reason why he's a 3-time Defender of the Year.
Is he 3? I guess I only said 2. My mistake. Either way, an elite talent. Palmer is gonna slow things down for the Strykers as we're approaching that 60-second mark here in the third quarter. Ciro into De Leon. We haven't seen much of De Leon here in this third quarter. De La Torre into Ciro, has a wide open Alan Perez in the corner. Perez gets by Keiko Gontan, but Drew Ruggles is there, making a fabulous play. Perez into Ciro, Ciro with a shot. Nobody is there to collect the walla. And the Strykers are gonna retreat back to their keeper. And Clayson DeLima's gonna head out. Marco Fabian wearing the 6th attacker jersey.
Time to throw caution to the wind if you're Empire.
Palmer with a shot, just misses. Headed by Costa, into Perez. Perez broken up by Ruggles. That's gonna get away from Fabian. The clock is not on the side of the Strykers here, less than 10 to go. Marco's gonna have to hurry up if Empire's gonna look to strike one more time. In bounces, Snare Williams catches it, and that's gonna be the end of the third quarter, folks. We only saw 1 goal get scored here, and that came by courtesy of Christian Gutierrez, but the Sockers head into the fourth quarter with a comfortable lead. It is 6-2. Back in a moment for the start of the fourth.
The wait is over. The 2025 MASL season is here. Bigger and better than ever. Get ready for high-speed action, jaw-dropping goals, and fierce competition as your favorite teams battle it out on the field. With intense rivalries, unforgettable moments, and new stars rising, the MASL delivers excitement every week. Get your tickets now and be part of the excitement, because this season, the action is non-stop.
Are you looking for inspiration? The FYI podcast delivers stories of inspiring individuals like the Strykers, Marco Fabian, Momo, and their remarkable personal journeys.
Because you're going to see people from all parts of life. They're us, everyday people facing everyday obstacles, and how they overcome them is a blueprint for all of us to learn from.
If you want to be inspired, subscribe to the FYI podcast.
Get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams by following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on Twitter. Folks, you can catch MASL Monday every Monday night on MASL TV, YouTube, and of course CBS Sports Golazo Network. Alex Boszczywanski and Phil Levanko are joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap the weekend's game and discuss the league's hot topic. The hot topic right here in Empire at the moment is the 4-goal commanding lead by the visiting San Diego Sockers.
The Empire did have 6 shots to the Sockers 1. And all that is attributed to the fact that the Empire Strykers did have the lion's share of possession within the third quarter, and they tried to make the most of it. But as we saw within that third quarter, it was very difficult for Empire to find a clean look at Xavier Snare-Williams. And any time they did, X made some tremendous saves. And by the way, we want to welcome those fans that are tuning in now after having watched the college football national title. The Ohio State Buckeyes did defeat the Notre Dame Fighting Irish by a score of 34-23. So congratulations to the Ohio State Buckeyes. I reluctantly say this as an Indiana Hoosier.
I could just tell the angst in your voice, my friend, as you had to read that one out.
Well, I'll tell you this, the national title featured 2 teams that beat Indiana, so I'm okay with that considering the Hoosiers did have a great season. Speaking of great season, Sebastian Mendez passes it over to Mitchell Cardenas. We see Travis Pittman back in the game. Cardenas is going to try to dump it into the left corner to find his target forward, Tavoy Morgan. Tavoy, try to get that quick turnaround, and that's something he specializes in. Anytime he gets that pass, he's so successful at turning that left or right corner and firing one in. We've already seen him with a goal today. Gonzalez trying to get by Pittman.
That one's going to ring off the arm of Travis Pittman. Handball's the call.
Pittman's looked good in his shifts thus far.
It's great to see Travie P back. Travis Pittman, one-time player for the franchise here in Ontario, now putting in his work for San Diego. Second game of the season for Travis, and he's had some great defensive work out there tonight.
Not sure if you were aware of this, but he played his college soccer in Morgantown, West Virginia, along with 2 other players that featured for the Empire Strykers / Ontario Fury, Uzi and Frank Tayu.
It's 2 big names in the history of this franchise here in Ontario.
Speaking of big names for this franchise, Justin Stinson passes it over to Palmer. Robert Palmer, selected by the team in Anu Obasi as the captain of Empire. Palmer, who played with the Comets, shot fired! Justin Stinson beats Xavier Snare-Williams, and that is exactly what the Strikers need to do here in this fourth quarter. Doctor, give us the news!
Justin the Stinger Stinson fires one from downtown, just inside the yellow. Got a palm to it as Xavier Snare-Williams, but nothing he could do with the bit vigor behind that shot from the Stinger as it rings into the back of the net. And the Strikers have cut the lead in half. It's 6-3.
And with that goal, Justin Stinson now has 11 on the season. Justin, who came off of a fabulous year. I've been using that word fabulous a little too much. An exceptional year last season, going with the Empire Strykers for 16 games, 5 games with the Tacoma Stars. Stinson scored 14 for Empire, 9 with Tacoma in his time, now with his 11th goal. And let's see if the momentum can finally shift in favor of the Strikers. Oliveira trying to get by Mansoret, but the Sockers do come back up with it. Charlie into Gabriel Costa. Costa, known to many in the state of Texas during his time playing for Southern Methodist University. Morales off of De La Torre, picked up by Mansoret. Mansoret, who played not only soccer, but ran track at Wilmington over in the state of Delaware.
Kind of thought Mansoret was going to open the engine up there, but elects instead to retreat. That gives the Strikers a chance to put that 6th attacker out.
With Fabian's shot saved by Snare-Williams. Fabian, like you said, wearing that 6th attacker jersey. Fabian wide open, he was calling for it. Stinson looks over. Ruggles inserts himself there. Stinson would have telegraphed it if he did connect with Fabian. He has it. Stinson, a very tough player to dispossess. Passes it over to De Leon. De Leon fires, and that comes off of Leo into Snare-Williams. That was a close call. Picked away by Alami. Alami into De Leon. De Leon's gonna wisely retreat to Aguirre. Aguirre into Fabian. Fabian wearing the 6th attacker jersey. That number 66 normally given to. Shot fired, saved by Snare-Williams. Valiant effort by George De Leon, but a great save by X.
See Leo de Oliveira juggle that ball out of the offensive reach and halfway to the yellow. Impressive.
Off the restart, Reyes fighting. Perez clanks it off of the bottom right. Fabian with a shot deflecting off of Leo. Empire really feeling it thus far. Seems like a foul on that corner as Stinson goes down. We can really feel the energy shift for the Empire Strykers. Don't want to say it was a lullful performance in the third quarter, as Empire did have 6 shots, but there seems to be a renewed energy here in this fourth quarter.
Oh, it's been turned up to 11 here with just about 11 and a half left to play.
Reyes on the restart to De Leon. Thought he was going to go to De Leon. Into Fabian. Fabian into Stinson. Stinson does have a little room to grow. Shot, fires, misses. Stretched in. Strykers still have it. Reyes in the corner. Battling against Charlie Gonzalez, and that's going to roll over to Snare Williams. Fabian wearing the 6th attacker jersey with the number 66. Brian Orozco now is going to tend to the pipes for the Empire. Aguirre boots it up high, but back to Snare Williams. X is going to roll it out to find him wide open. Tavoy Morgan. Tavoy, tough touch, still hangs on to it. Fires it in. Berto tries to close in on him.
Tavoy wide open, one-on-one with the keeper, just cannot collect. The first touch betrays him.
That was one of those uh-oh moments for the Empire. For those wondering that are tuning in now what the Empire is, it's shout to the Inland Empire. Mansoret in the corner. The Inland Empire, of course, where the city of Ontario is. The city of Ontario is where we're doing this broadcast from. Live under the bright lights of Toyota Arena, one of the busiest arenas in the country. Home of not only the Empire Strykers, but the Los Angeles Kings AHL affiliate, the Ontario Reign. We've seen a lot of tremendous concerts come through here as well. I know Panda's looking forward to Kane Brown.
Former home of the Clippers G League team has now moved to the San Diego Sockers Arena front wave down in Oceanside.
And that's where the Clippers were founded, hence the name Clippers, referring to the ships. Stinson into Ciro. Speaking of Clippers, they did beat the Lakers the other night.
Yeah, you got to bring that up. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Go Knicks. Now back to indoor soccer. De Leon back over to Stinson. Less than 10 to go here in this fourth quarter. Palmer can't find anything. Back over to De Leon. Strykers are looking to assess any kind of space, but between Costa, Salazar, and Gontan, it's been tough. Into Oliveira. Oliveira off of Gutierrez. But that rebound comes back to Strykers. De Leon. And look, the Sockers defense has been encompassing. It's been so incredibly hard for Empire to thread it through. Stinson with a shot just above the crossbar. Picked up by Gontan. Will that have the distance? No, it does not. Picked right back up by Stinson. He gets shouldered off of it by Salazar, and that's going to go against the man from Medellin.
That's a delay of game warning issued against the San Diego Sockers. By my math, that's their second delay of game warning. And they have managed to avoid the yellow card.
Restart comes into Stinson. Stinson battling with Mendez. Oh, he tried to find Alami, but Cardenas was there. What we have now is a whistle.
Well, folks, if you disagree with the call tonight, you might just see it on the MASL's most controversial show, Under Review with Phil Levanco and head of MASL referees Ryan Sigich. Catch it every Friday on YouTube.
Fabian pokes it through to Alami. Alami. Gutierrez slams it off. And Stinson passed it pretty much into Cardenas, who let it go to Snare Williams.
It's going to be a timeout called by the San Diego Sockers. Folks, we are going to take a quick break. Excuse me, I'm sorry, folks. We are going to stay here for this one. Philly, interesting. San Diego using a timeout here despite having the 3-goal lead.
Well, if you got it, you might as well use it. Phil trying to draw something up. He must have seen something in the last sequence that the Strykers had.
Folks, MGR Real Estate is Southern California's largest independent family-owned real estate company, providing commercial sales and leasing, residential sales and leasing, property management, and homeowner association management. MGR Real Estate is a proud sponsor of your Empire Strykers. We would like to thank Ontario Airport Hotel as our official airport hotel sponsor, conveniently located just 2 miles from the Ontario International Airport, 4 miles from the Ontario Convention Centre, and 2 blocks away from Toyota Arena for your next MASL game. Join the Hope Through Housing Foundation in empowering children and families in the Inland Empire and beyond through after-school programs and financial coaching. Learn more to see how hope is a difference. Visit hopethroughhousing.org.
All right, folks, just want to reference a situation that occurred against the Milwaukee Wave and the Tacoma Stars. A statement by the Office of the Commissioner. The Major Arena Soccer League is disappointed by the actions that unfolded the other night in a game between the Tacoma Stars and the Milwaukee Wave. The league does not condone the actions that transpired and has already launched an investigation. A full disciplinary committee finding will be issued at the conclusion of the investigation. And as we know, a player that we were going to potentially see next week featuring for the Tacoma Stars, and that is Stefan Mijatovic. More than likely, we're not going to see Steph as Tacoma comes into Empire next week.
Just absolutely disheartening scenes at the end of that match. Folks, this game is for all children, all ages, families. Behavior and conduct like that is unbecoming to the league and unbecoming of the gentlemanly character we expect from our players.
And there's still a lot going on there as far as the investigations. We're going to allow the disciplinary committee to do what they got to do to come up with any kind of disciplinary rulings that they have. It's not up to us to determine exactly what it is that happened, because it's a he said, she said type scenario from our perch here. And speaking of he said, she said, what are you saying about how this game is going on so far with San Diego up by 3?
You know, it's really been a stalwart defensive effort from the boys in gray this evening. San Diego's hot line of confrontation has just been stifling any attempt by Empire to try and get in the offensive zone.
Stinson trying to find some magic into Perez. Perez to Alami into that corner. Strykers not finding anything on this attempt. Perez does have it. Backpedals it into Reyes. Reyes into Aguirre in that midfield. Back to Fabian, who's wearing that 6th attacker jersey. Cross turf pass to Stinson. Stinson fires. Kick saved by Snare Williams.
What a save by X. Against his body's momentum, able to lean back and get a foot out.
Gutierrez tried to get by Aguirre, but Aguirre not allowing him to do that.
He had the wide open empty net there at the other end if he was able to control and get a shot going.
Snare Williams might as well be called Steak Williams, because the Strykers are going to try to pepper him throughout the duration of this 4th quarter. An empty net, as we do see Fabian wearing that 6th attacker jersey, wearing the number 66, which, by the way, has been a number that's normally been reserved for the Strykers mascot, the mountain lion known as Stryker.
Stryker gracing the scenes there right behind Fabian against the boards.
Alami with some space. Fabian does not get the right touch off of it. And Costa, I don't know if there's some miscommunication there, but Snare Williams comes back up with it.
Gabe almost chested that one into his own goal there. Great work by X to recover.
Costa into Morgan. Morgan in the Ruggles. And we have a collision down on the turf as Morgan, and I believe that is Stinson, collide with one another.
Stinson immediately grabbed his face there as if he was saying he got illegal hands to the face, but it is Stinson who comes away having had the foul called against him. Let's take a look at this again. As you can see Stinson come in against Morgan there, and oh, Stinson looks like he took an elbow across the jaw there. My goodness.
Two tough competitors, very competitive competitors, and a great display of sportsmanship, by the way, as both players helping each other back up onto the turf. Leo tried to find Morales, intercepted by Palmer.
You have to wonder, San Diego successful on a blue card challenge earlier in the game. Coach Onua Obasi incredibly hesitant to throw a challenge flag throughout the course of this season.
Costa into Charlie, taken away by Tony Della Torre. Della Torre has played 8 games. This would be his 9th game, which is already 3 more than he played last season. Got to see him. I've realized that he's also the team barber, by the way, Doctor. As we stayed at the Ontario Airport Hotel, saw Tony Della Torre cutting everybody's hair. Alami into Stinson. Stinson off of Leo. Ball is loose. Picked back up by Costa. Costa's going to chip it high into the air. Into Keiko Gotan. He's going to go all the way to the left to a wide open Gutierrez. Brian Orozco gets back in the net for the Strykers.
Orozco having to sprint all the way down the field every single time that turnover happens. It's got to make it more difficult to get a shot off on the other end. Is a late whistle there. Bails out San Diego as Drew Ruggles gets the call for the foul.
When we have our headphones on, it is very difficult for you and I to really hear anything other than ourselves. But I can hear people in Toyota Arena booing because Stinson would have had a wide open one-on-one against Snare Williams, which could have put the Strykers back within striking distance. Swift into Aguirre. 5:28 to go in this fourth quarter. A cheeky pass from Aguirre into Perez. Perez collects it. And a cheeky play from him into Fabian, who's got Alami wide open to the right. Alami with space, fires it in, saved by X. Aguirre comes back up with it, finds Andy Reyes. Aguirre over to Fabian, under 5 to go. Fabian with a shot off of the paws of Snare Williams. Mendez with an open net is going to chip it. And Sebastian Mendez with a midfield goal puts the Sockers up by a score of 7-3.
So close at one end to Fabian picking the top bar, and at the other end, Mendez is able to put one from deep behind the yellow line and in. Back in a moment, folks.
With 6 call, runway 26 right, right on.
Across the nation, MASL players are giving back, utilizing their professional power to touch and inspire people in their local communities nationwide. Free soccer clinics, where kids can meet their heroes and learn new skills. After-school programs and special events. And surprise visits to the classroom. Visiting brave kids in the hospital, bringing joy and hope. Supporting special needs care, partnering with local businesses, and so much more. MASL, passion on the field, purpose off the field, committed to community.
The Sockers like to refer to themselves as the Lords of Indoor. And while some might take offense to that, that is exactly what they have been this season. If things go their way, the Sockers will have achieved their 8th straight win of the season after losing their game against the Tacoma Stars. San Diego looks devastating thus far. And again, I can't help but allude to the fact they are doing this without several key players. No Captain Craig Childs, no Taylor Walter Bond, no Cesar Cerda, no Ben Raymond. So many weapons that the Sockers have that you would think would have given an advantage to the Empire Strykers. But thus far, this team has been rough and rugged, taking care of business here at Toyota Arena.
Not to mention the inactive players.
Shot by Fabian, not Fabian, I should apologize. That was De Leon. It was Fabian. There's Fabian with a shot, saved by Snare Williams. I was taken aback as Fabian had been wearing that 6th attacker jersey. But it's now De Leon. George De Leon feeds Ciro. Taken away by the Sockers. Costa with a break. Into a wide open Gutierrez, but De Leon is there. Into Stinson, a close call and a crisis averted by Empire. Stinson on the counter, fires it in, he misses. Fabian with a shot wide, Alami with a shot. Munir Alami draws another one back. The rookie from Morocco muscles one in. The Strykers are now only down by a score of 7-4.
Munir Alami keeps Moroccan out on the season. The number 3 scorer in Empire's stat sheet finds his 9th of his rookie campaign. He is averaging 1.4 points per game. A heck of a rookie campaign so far for Munir Alami, who finds another one in the back of the net, and the Strikers are back within 3. It's 7-4.
Brian Orozco is going to go back into the net for the Strikers, but knowing how this team has played all season, that will probably be for a very short period of time. The Strikers are going to look to utilize the man advantage to find a way to claw their way back into this game. Kego Gontan marked by Swift. Pass finds its way back over to Cardenas. The former Texas Outlaw connects into Drew Ruggles. Drew Ruggles, who has experienced a lot of success in this league, playing for a number of teams. His pass was intended for Seba Mendez, but it was too much. But it still comes off of Robert Palmer.
When we were talking about San Diego's inactive players, Brandon Escoto, Churras himself, Flavio Guzman, Juan Manuel Rojo, Luis Perez. I mean, that's some prolific talent on their inactive list as well, too, in addition to today's scratches.
You're not wrong about that. Earlier on, speaking of which, Kego Gontan on a counter. He's got Luis Morales wide open. Pass into Mendez. Mendez fires it into the corner. Mansoure is going to kick it out of danger, but into Ruggles. We had an M2 game that took place here earlier as the Empire Jets took on San Diego Sockers 2. It was a game in which fell in favor of Sockers 2. For those not tuning into the M2, please do, because M2 is a very exciting developmental league for the Major Arena Soccer League. Ruggles into Gontan. Gontan trying to find his way past Gonzalez into Ruggles. Back over to Cardenas. Sockers are going to happily do exactly what Empire was doing to them a vast majority of this game, which is just pass the ball back and forth, trying to exploit inefficiencies. But Stinson, speaking of inefficiencies, comes back up with it for the Strikers. Into De La Torre.
Empty net, 6th attacker back out for Empire.
And that is De Leon. Fabian, who has 1 goal thus far, pokes it to Aguirre. Aguirre into Stinson. And at this point, it would be, barring an absolute miracle, this should be the 8th straight win of the season for the Sockers. Strikers are going to look to, at the very least, make this more of a respectable scoring line. Alami with space. Alami tried to go in. Ball is loose. Fabian fires. He goes too high, just above the crossbar. De Leon with a shot right off of Cardenas and into the netting. Strikers will have it on their attacking end of the field, but with 1 minute and 13 seconds left, Doctor, you do the math. Doesn't look good. Oh, wide open. Nearly the greatest Wallace scorer we've seen under this roof. Fabian fires it in. Pawed away by Snare Williams. Fabian still has it. Less than a minute remains here in this game. Sockers up comfortably by a score of 7-4. Costa with a wide open net. Picked back up by Aguirre. Aguirre into that midfield. Gutierrez is going to let that one roll. Costa's going to fire himself back. He falls down to the turf. And
I didn't see a signal for a foul or a whistle there, but looks like it's going to be one awarded to San Diego nonetheless. With 40 seconds left, this set piece should allow them the opportunity to see this one on out. And San Diego indeed looks as though they are on their way to their 8th straight win. They have absolutely been skyrocketing through the MASL standings. They were in quite an unfamiliar place about a week ago, looking up at numerous teams above them, something the San Diego fans are not used to seeing. Well, starting today in 3rd place and looking to climb.
Gutierrez in Acosta. 40 seconds remaining into this game before we put this one to bed. Leo into Cardenas. Palmer's going to try to close in on X.
That should be a top-of-the-arc restart here, as that was played directly out of bounds from inside the yellow by X. But no, it will not. It will just be played from the spot it exited the field. Maybe it clipped off the top of the boards and I missed that.
De Leon fires it in to that bottom left corner. George the Worm De Leon finds the back of the net. It is now 7-5.
The 6th attacker dagger, the man in the 6th attacker kit, fires one from way downtown, pins it right inside the post. George De Leon pulls it back within 2 with 23 seconds left. Could we have a miracle in the works?
I don't know, but if you looked at the back of his jersey, now I get why they've got the 66, because the last name on the back of that jersey was Route. Route 66, the famous Route 66, that's been immortalized by several classic rock and roll songs. Speaking of rock and roll, we're going to have a lot of that for the Empire to really get into this, but a chip into the corner. The clock getting ready to expire as Berto heads it to Orozco. Orozco gonna back kick it into Mendez. Mendez gets it stripped by Mansoray. Mansoray's gonna fire it off of the University of Laverne sign, and that's the end of the game, folks. We put this one to rest, and we put it in the refrigerator. A very impressive performance by an undermanned San Diego Sockers team. They beat the Empire by a score of 7-5 and win another battle in the 50-second contest between these two teams.
Leonardo de Oliveira becomes the 11th player in MASL history to cross that 300-point mark. Congratulations to Leonardo de Oliveira. Seba Mendez nets himself a brace. Your additional goal scorers for San Diego: Tavoy Morgan, Golden Gutierrez, Gabe Costa, Keko Gaitan, and Luis Morales. For Empire, your goal scorers: Munir Alami, Ciro Oliveira, George De Leon, Justin Stinson, and of course, Marco Fabian.
Leo, 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 your game is far from feo, my friend. Congratulations on the milestone. And we've had a couple of Sockers that have achieved some milestones. Leo doing it on the assist front. Boris Pardo, who did not feature in today's game, got his 10,000th minute against the Texas Outlaws back on January the 17th. And this is a team that continues to pick up steam. The Lords of Indoor are lording themselves over the entire MASL. An impressive 8th straight win. They are the hottest team in this league.
Folks, we're going to send it down pitch side with Panda to get us some sound from the field. Take it away, Panda.
Hey guys, I am here with Coach Anu Abassi. Okay. You guys made quite a push there at the very end, unfortunately coming up just a little short. What do you think it was that just didn't come together for the Strikers today?
I think the first half performance, put us in a hole, and I think it was just too big to dig ourselves out of. But to be fair, the boys were shooting right to the end. But when you give them a 3-goal lead at half, against the top team, you kind of put yourself in a tough spot.
When you look back at this game and you go over the tape and the film and everything, what is something you'll take away from this game as you look forward to Tacoma on Saturday?
I think we've had a habit of, making poor mistakes, turnovers, unforced errors. Our guys have a level. I see them train every day. We have a level that's higher than that. And to play this sort of system, you need to be connecting your passes. I know I asked them to make a lot of passes, but some of the ones that they're missing are, a little disappointing. But, I know we can do better. So
yeah, they had almost double the shots as San Diego. But again, we talked about that stingy defense, and they definitely showed up today. But like you said, take this back with you, and you've got Tacoma on Saturday. You got to get the boys ready for it. And how do you feel about going into that game?
Yeah, Tacoma, another good team. No easy games. So, we'll see. We're going to dominate periods of games, and we just have to make sure we clean up the other stuff. I think we'll be good.
All right. Well, can't wait to see you out here again. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thanks,
back to you guys in the booth.
Folks, we are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back to wrap up today's game. You are watching the Major Arena Soccer League on CBS Sports Golazo Network.
With the call, from 6 right, we're on.
Indoor soccer fans, it's time to unleash a giant leap for fandom. Introducing MASL Indoor Soccer Fantasy Football. Build your dream team, invite your friends, and create your own draft league, all for free. Draft and trade players and win bragging rights as your team dominates the league. With MASLI Football, you're not just a fan, you're part of the action. Go to MASLI Football to sign up, get started, and play.
Welcome back to Toyota Arena, where it is the visiting San Diego Sockers who have defeated the Empire Strykers by a score of 7-5. Empire outshooting San Diego 2-1 with 30 shots on goal to San Diego's 14, saves 6-15, and really those 7 saves made by Xavier Snare-Williams in the fourth quarter. A demonstrative moment in this game. Your fouls 10-7, Sockers winning out that battle, but I have to say, hats off to Xavier Snare-Williams. That 7 save, fourth quarter performance from him. Boot saves, toe saves, fingertip saves. He was all over the net tonight, manning it for the Sockers.
Rest in peace, DMX, but this X is going to give it to you. What a tremendous performance he's had, not only against the Strykers tonight, but the last time that these two teams squared off against each other. Going through those highlights, Ciro Oliveira got things going for the Empire Strykers, the first goal of the game, but afterwards, the San Diego Sockers really kicked things into gear. They found the back of the net on 7 occasions, and look, Doctor, this is a team that doesn't score a plethora of goals. They came into tonight's contest with only 48 goals for. Now, if you add some 7 to that, we're looking at only 55. The Empire Strykers, on the other hand, with today's game, have found the back of the net on 67 occasions. So they're doing it defensively. By them, I mean the San Diego Sockers. It's a total team effort. This is a team that looks very dangerous. Oh, yes, and by the way, they beat the defending champion Chihuahua Savage as well. I might think that Phil Levanco knows something that we don't, as he predicted them to go forward and win the Ron Newman Cup thus far, but still so much soccer to be played. I don't want to give too many flowers to San Diego, but still a very impressive performance with a very undermanned roster.
Look, you win 8 games in a row. You do it on the road. You do it versus the champs. You do it when your team is going through the illness bug, the injury bug. I mean, the statement that San Diego has sent out to the league in these last 8 games is that the Lords of Indoor are here to knock Chihuahua off their pedestal. And certainly the biggest competition right now in stopping Chihuahua from a three-peat.
Absolutely. The Sockers' next game is going to be on the road against the Texas Outlaws on January the 25th. For the Empire Strykers, they are going to look to tango with the Tacoma Stars here at Toyota Arena on January the 25th. The Doctor and I will be on the CBS Sports Golazo Network to give you the 3rd edition of that rivalry. It's been an interesting one. Again, today is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We honor the great man, and we are beyond honored to have been part of another broadcast here of the Major Arena Soccer League on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Your final score, the San Diego Sockers 7, the Empire Strykers 5. Again, we'll be back on the 25th as Tacoma comes into town. Have a good night. Have a productive week. God bless, and we'll see you on the 25th. Philly, the Doc, and Panda, we out.
Adios, amigos.
Indoor soccer fans, it's time to unleash a giant leap for fandom. Introducing MASL Indoor Soccer Fantasy Football. Build your dream team, invite your friends, and create your own draft league, all for free. Draft and trade players and win bragging rights as your team dominates the league. With MASLI Football, you're not just a fan, you're part of the action. Go to MASLI Football to sign up, get started, and play.